If you're brand new to e-commerce or dropshipping and you're thinking about getting started in 2025, well, the chances are you've probably heard of Shopify, and that's for a good reason. It is still the easiest way to go from zero to a live store, but that's really where most beginners get stuck. They know Shopify is a great platform, but how do you actually start? What plan do you pick? How much does it cost? What do you sell? And that's what I'm going to go into in this video, go through it in a step-by-step way that hopefully can help anybody get started. But before we jump into that, let's just be clear and be real for a second that e-commerce or dropshipping is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You're not going to wake up a millionaire overnight. It does take effort, testing, and diligence, but if you stick with it, follow through the right playbook, and you definitely can build a real online business that's going to last you a long time. I mean, honestly, it took me 4 or 5 years of trying things before I was successful. Hopefully, learning from my mistakes and my wins and successes, we can shorten that timeline for you. But a little bit more about myself. My name is Daniel Lindsay. A few years ago, I started an e-commerce company that I built from scratch. I scaled it and I eventually sold it. And that experience completely changed my life. And now I spend my time here at On Demand Fulfillment, where I'm helping other entrepreneurs do the same thing. I work with people starting from zero, sometimes with existing brands, but I give them the tools to launch their own branded products, primarily in the supplement space, and do so without sinking thousands and thousands of dollars into inventory so they can focus on building that brand. So if you're serious about building a real e-commerce business, you're in the right place. This channel is all about cutting through the noise, showing you step-by-step how to make it happen in 2025 and as the trends continue to change. So why Shopify? I mean, you've probably heard of all the other platforms like Wix, Squarespace, WordPress. They're all still there, but here's the thing. Shopify is pretty much the easiest way, in my opinion, to get started in 2025. For one, it just works out of the box. It can handle all the boring tech stuff that you're maybe not familiar with or knowledgeable about. So things like payment processing, hosting your domain, different security for your domain. You don't need to know how to code. You don't have to mess with servers. You can just sign up and start building your website. And for most people, that's a huge benefit to not have to spend thousands of dollars on building a website and paying a developer to help you do that. So then on top of that, there's the ecosystem, right? So Shopify has thousands of apps and integrations, and they're pretty much plugged into everything these days. So even starting with just one small product, you're going to be able to layer in things like subscriptions, bundles, email marketing, SMS, or text messaging to market to your customers, and basically whatever you need. So you're not going to outgrow your store, and you just add on to it as you need with a Shopify store. And then in 2025 especially, they've really doubled down with like AI tools, especially their new store builder, where you can spin up almost a complete layout in just a few minutes with what used to take a couple hours or days potentially. So you no longer have to spend weeks making your site look professional and even presentable, and it kind of almost skips that hardest part for you so you can focus on picking the products and actually selling your products. So yeah, people ask me why Shopify is still the best for beginners, and it's because it makes the whole process as painless as possible, and Shopify has done a great job of making that their focus. And that's what you need if you're a beginner just getting started. So let's dive into a little bit more what you actually need to get started and launch on Shopify. So first up, the plan. Shopify almost always has a free trial of some sort. Right now as I'm recording this video, I just jumped on and checked, and it's a 3 days for free and then $1 per month for 3 months. So you get basically 93 days or so for $3, which is pretty wild. There's not many other platforms that offer that kind of pricing to get it set up and testing. Once that promotion's over, the basic plan is like $39 a month and should cover pretty much everything you need for the first few months of running your business. Next, your domain, like your website address, right? Like www.mybrand.com, right? You can also grab that right inside of Shopify, where they can actually go and purchase the domain for you, host it for you, and connect it to your website and your store, which if you've ever looked into other avenues of building a website, that's usually its own process and requires many different services and costs. And again, Shopify just makes that super simple to get set up and launched, saves you a lot of time. Now the look and the feel of the store, right? The secret right now is to really not overthink it and don't spend way too much time focusing on this, right? Shopify has a lot of free themes that you can just choose and plug in and make it look clean, make sure it's mobile friendly and it's fast. Keep your colors simple to start. In some of our other videos, we go over like branding and choosing what audience you're selling products to and identifying those things. That's where you can go in and adjust those colors, maybe your logo, some fonts later on, but just focus on getting the structure set up clean, keeping it fast and not cluttered, and you're off to a good start. Next, your homepage. It's kind of like a welcome mat, but also realize most people aren't going to your homepage when they're visiting your website. Most of the time, if you're posting about something on Facebook, running an ad, running a TikTok, it's usually linking back to your product page. So your product page is going to be like the landing page where you really spend a lot of time dialing in the messaging on that page. Okay. So on your homepage, really focus on just like a clean banner, maybe a mission statement, put your main product, like your flagship product front and center, maybe a couple testimonials, keep it pretty clean. Cool thing about about Shopify is some of the back-end pages like privacy policy, suggested refund policies, things like that are auto-generated. Like they have templates for you that'll just plug in your company name and they have them linked to your homepage. So you don't have to think about some of those more technical aspects. Wouldn't hurt to revisit those if you want to just make sure you're covered and the refund policy and all that is what you want, but Shopify knocks it out of the way for you. But again, the product page is where the magic happens. That's where 90% of your sales volume are going to be landing very first. Some might bounce around and click around, but they always come back and have to buy from your product page, right? So keep it really tight. A few bullet points right up top that highlight the benefits and not just the features. And what I mean by that is focus on how this product helps them, right? So if the customer's coming and they read it, they want to see this product solves this problem for me. And that's what your benefits are going to be saying, right? Laid out like a story, like, hey, here's your problem and here's how my product solves that problem, and do that over and over again. People honestly don't care about like the features, like, oh, it has this super advanced technology that does this and this and this. They're like, cool, like, does it solve my problem that I'm here for or not? And that's what's going to cause them to purchase or not. So keep that in mind. Add really clear quality images, maybe a short video or a GIF, and definitely include more social proof with like reviews or testimonials on that product page as well. Then with the apps, like I mentioned before, there are thousands of different app options, but don't go too crazy here. If you get too many apps on your store, it can really slow things down and cause there to be problems with the speed of your website, and even cause problems where the customers can't check out because apps are contradicting one another or something like that. So just keep it simple, and maybe like a reviews app, currency converter if you're going to go internationally. I think some Shopify plans have that built in, and then like an upsell bundle or an app, and then maybe like an email marketing app for the back end. That's not even on the forward facing side. So then when you put it all together, you got your plan, your domain, a free theme, a simple homepage, a strong product page, and then a couple of those essential apps. And you're looking at well under $100 to have a really professional looking sales ready store in 2025. Pretty reasonable compared to if you were to go use a developer and customize and all that. I mean, you're looking thousands and thousands of dollars. So Shopify is amazing for that. So the next big question is, what do I actually sell, right? Like this is where most beginners overcomplicate things. They'll see a bunch of trending products. They'll throw all of them on their website. They try to do the dropshipping model from like AliExpress or maybe other drop shippers, and they just load up their website with a ton of products. And the problem is that it makes your store look scattered, kind of sketchy, and customers just aren't going to trust it. So a better approach in 2025 is keeping it focused to pick one niche and one product in that niche. Like a hero product or a flagship product is sometimes that term. That's going to be where the focus of your marketing and messaging and the problem that you're solving is solved using that product, okay? Because when you're speaking to just one specific customer with one clear offer and one clear problem that you solve, you're going to come across way more professional and more trustworthy, and it's going to resonate better with that customer. You're not going to appeal to everybody, but you really don't want to appeal to everybody. And some of our other videos touch on that. But the next question is, how do I pick the right niche? And here's kind of a simple way to think about it. I like to ask myself 3 simple questions, all right? 1, is the market growing? 2, does the product solve a real problem? And 3, will people come back for more? That'd be like repeat buyers. So a few examples that check those boxes are going to be fitness and wellness, pet products, home and kitchen, and some of the self-care or like beauty products are some of the most common products that check all 3 of those boxes. These are spaces where we know people already spend a lot of money. They're huge, multi-billion, like $60-70 billion a year just in like supplements. And people are always looking for new solutions, the next great trending product. So those are great niches to keep in mind. So that's the overall theory. Keep it simple, keep it focused, and pick something that customers actually care about. So now you've got that theory down, one niche, one hero product, but here's the real product. How do I actually start selling it, right? How do I build a brand, and how do I get these products into customers' hands without spending thousands of dollars on marketing upfront or thousands of dollars on inventory to be able to sell something? There are basically 3 different models that people use. The first one is, you may have heard of like the old AliExpress dropshipping model. If you haven't heard of it, it's basically you list a product that you're able to find on a website called AliExpress, which is most of them are coming out of China. You collect the order from the customer, you then submit the order through AliExpress, and it gets shipped to the customer, and you pocket the difference. It sounds simple, but the reality is the shipping can take a long time. You can't really customize or brand your product, and there's just quality is inconsistent, and your customers typically aren't used to waiting that long, and they just don't wait that long anymore. So second option is buying the inventory yourself. Let's say you're super convinced that you're gonna sell like the world's best hot sauce, right? And you get a manufacturer to make your secret recipe, and you buy 10,000 bottles of the hot sauce, and then you try to go sell it. Well, you had to buy 10,000 bottles of this hot sauce because the manufacturers won't make it in any lower quantities of runs than that. And so if you don't know that you can sell it in that kind of quantity, you may be stuck holding a large amount of inventory. I don't know why I used hot sauce, but just a random example, right? And then the more modern option is what we like to call private label dropshipping. So this is where platforms like us, on-demand fulfillment, we come in, we allow you to, instead of reselling like random products, you're selling the products and items under your own brand. So we sell supplements. We have close to 90 different supplements, and you're able to create labels and branding for those products that you can create, and we will print and label the products before we ship them to your customer. So when you receive them, when your customers receive them, they're fully labeled with your supplement brand, and they won't know that it's coming from us. So we handle the packaging, the compliance, the label printing, the label application, and the shipping, and you just focus on building your brand, getting more sales, focusing on your marketing. So to the customer, it looks like they're buying from a trusted brand because they are. And the best part is you don't need to invest in that bulk purchase up front, and you can save that money to put into marketing and grow your brand faster. And you're only paying us as the orders come in, and that's why we're on demand fulfillment. So if you're started in 2025, think of it this way. AliExpress dropshipping is the past. A lot of problems with that. Holding inventory is expensive. Maybe you can get product a little bit cheaper, but you're taking a much larger risk and hoping that you can sell it. And the private label dropshipping is that sweet spot. You find a partner or manufacturer that can customize or brand your products to your unique looking products and ship them to your customers on your behalf. And that's the model that allows you to start lean and build a brand that can still last long term. For example, we have clients that have been working with us since 2017. So 8 years of working with the same clients where they're not buying their own inventory. They're just using our products that we're labeling as theirs, and they're selling them to their unique customers in a unique way that obviously serves them well. They've been able to sustain a brand for 8 years and made millions and millions of dollars. So now let's jump in. Your store's live, your product's ready, and now comes the part where everyone looks forward to getting those first sales, right? So this is where a lot of the beginners trip up. They launch their Shopify store, they sit back and just wait for sales to magically appear. Maybe they'll start a TikTok page and put a couple posts on their Facebook or Instagram page, and they hope that people are just going to find that and make sales. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case. And also, fortunately, you don't need a massive budget in marketing to start getting sales. What we've seen best this year, seen it happen with multiple brands, is organic short form videos, right? You get your website all set up, you get your product on there, maybe a couple upsell products, right? And then you start creating short form videos on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts, because those platforms are designed specifically to push the content to the people who've never seen you before. Even if you have 0 followers, you can still start getting exposure. So that means you can just make organic, like let's think like unboxing videos, or 3 ways to use this, or my daily routine of using this product, or these random health benefits you didn't know came from X, Y, and Z. And you can just start making a lot of random videos that are, hopefully valuable, have good quality information, but they don't need to be super polished. They don't need to have a professional ad budget or video production team. And you just post a lot of that volume and start seeing what's working, what's getting views, what's getting engagement, and make more and more of those. And again, the more real or like raw, kind of natural, don't worry about being too fancy, right? Honestly, just like a selfie style video where you're recording a video talking to a camera has been shown to be a lot better than even like a setting where I have a camera and set up, right? Like just make it normal, like you're on your phone just talking to them like your friend. It's going to be a lot better. Now, to kind of speed that up, similar principle, but you're working with micro influencers who already have a trusted audience that follows them, likes their content, trusts their opinion and their like what they choose to promote, and you reach out to those. This isn't going to be like celebrities that have millions of followers, right? We're talking about 5 to maybe on the maximum like 50,000 followers. So 5,000 to 50,000 followers with a very core focused audience. That's going to be the type of content creator you would want to work with and approach and see what it takes to have them promote your product. Their audiences are really tight knit. Like I said, they trust them. And when they recommend something, their audience is going to listen to them. Oftentimes these influencers will promote the product in exchange for, like a free sample or a small fee. But what's really popular right now on TikTok is you can set them up to be a creator and they get an affiliate commission that's handled all through TikTok and allows them to get money consistently, and they just keep pushing your product more and more and more. And again, here's the bonus. The content that they create for you, if you make it part of the agreement with them, that's content that you can use later on. Use it on your website for social proof, use it for remarketing purposes. Just keep that in mind when you're making the agreements with those micro influencers, that this content can be repurposed and you can reuse that for other purposes as well. And just one more lever that a lot of the beginners seem to ignore is going to be SMS and email marketing. So even if you're just getting started, get that set up. Klaviyo is a very popular one for Shopify. It can handle both your email and SMS marketing. It's important to start emailing them from the get-go, like a welcome sequence for saying, hey, thank you for buying my product. I'm happy that you're part of this family. Here's a coupon for your next order, or have like a 7 to 14 day welcome sequence where it kind of explains the backsstory of your brand, thanks them for being part of it, provides more value valuable information about like maybe the problem that your product is solving, and a free ebook or something on how they can, adjust their diet to also help with that problem or something. I'm just spitballing here. And then at the end, you can offer them that coupon or offer them a referral code to offer this product to a friend, and both of you get 50% off. Or like, there's a lot of ways you can do that, but start that early and be in contact with your audience often and make that touch point a regular expectation from them, so they're not surprised later on if you start emailing marketing messages to them, right? And just do it consistently. You're going to always have a way to launch a new product to an existing warm audience that will hopefully have your trust, love your product, and buy right away. All right, so real quick, let's just go over the first 30-day checklist to launching a Shopify store in 2025 and what you should actually be doing once it's live. So week 1 is really just focusing on the launching that we talked about, right? You're getting your Shopify plan, locking in that domain, you're uploading your hero or flagship product, building that product page, and make sure your store is looking clean and trustworthy. Don't obsess over perfection. Honestly, right now, done is better than perfect. It's never going to be perfect. So just get it done, get it out there, and tweak it as you go. Weeks 2 and 3 are really about getting those first orders through the door and figuring out what works, right? So you're posting short form videos every single day, right? It can be hard sometimes to want to get in front of a camera, but there's ideas out there. You can maybe not have like faceless videos, but if you're willing to get in front of the camera, it adds a lot of credibility that you believe in your products, you believe in your brand. It'll help move things along. But post again every single day. Reach out to those micro influencers to get some content and work out deals with them and get that exposure. And then again, make sure your email and SMS automations are set up and live so you don't lose those additional potential sales on month 2 and 3 and beyond. So then by week 4, you really should be shipping those first 30 to 50 orders. You start looking at your numbers, your conversion rate, your average order value, whether anyone's coming back and being repeat buyers. And these basics are going to tell you what's working and what you need to tweak. So think of it as launching fast, start marketing right away, and then pay attention to your first bit of data. And that's going to be the playbook for your first month. So hopefully that's been helpful. But so here's the bottom line. Dropshipping isn't dead. Shopify isn't dead. What's dead is that old model. Using partners like on-demand fulfillment where we can private label and dropship from the US, fast shipping, and remove all the bad connotations that surround dropshipping. That's the secret to success in 2025. So that opportunity is really focused on building small brands in a very dedicated niche with one hero product, a few upsell products, and a store that feels trustworthy, right? And with the right fulfillment partner, you're not going to need to sink thousands into inventory to get started. And we make it possible, and other partners like us would allow you to get started with your own brand without that upfront risk. So if you're specifically looking at the health and supplement space, ODF is built specifically for that. We have the full compliant labels. We got 80 different products. We have fast fulfillment, and it's all built under your brand name. Our orders ship out, but they look like they're coming from you going to your customer. It's honestly one of the easiest ways to grow into that huge market that's constantly expanding, and you do so without facing those usual headaches, right? So if you're interested in getting started with on-demand fulfillment, I'm going to drop a link in the description below. You can book a call with somebody from our team, just kind of go through what it looks like to work with us, ask all the questions that you have, and no obligations, of course. We're just here to answer your questions and see if you're interested in getting started, and we can kind of walk you through how that would look. But overall, hopefully the video has been helpful, even if you're choosing to do a different niche that's not supplements. Hopefully the overview of Shopify and how to get started was helpful. Make sure you get subscribed so you don't miss the next video where we'll try to drop more valuable information. And lastly, drop a comment below of what niche you're interested in getting started in 2025. But hopefully again, that was helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.